Hey y'all, this is Rolf Versluis. It's May 23rd. Going to give you an update on the Horizen migration progress. Okay, so back up a little bit. I co-founded Horizen back in 2017. We started with the idea of doing private payments. Now, my idea came at it from a standpoint of being a business owner. If you want to be able to use crypto and be a business owner, you have to have somewhat private transactions. Now, over the years, we've seen as the crypto industry has progressed that smart contracts are a great way to go. We've seen zero knowledge proof technology increase significantly, and we've seen a lot of regulatory suggestions and improvements come through. And so here in 2025, we're seeing that banks are looking at ways that they can integrate stablecoin payments into their operations. Today, Kraken just announced that there's going to be the ability to trade public stocks on Kraken as a version of crypto. So everything's progressing. That the basic idea of being able to integrate privacy into transactions and other online systems is still an important one, and that the ability for people to create applications that operate at the base capability of the protocol enables them to create applications where they can actually benefit from it. Creating applications at the base ability of the protocol is something like creating a website or creating an email list. It's something that can't be taken away by the platform because it's built on the base protocol. Okay, so what we are doing in two separate tracks right now, with a third track to be added on soon after, is the first thing that we're doing is we're migrating our two blockchains, the Horizen main chain, which is a UTXO proof of work chain, and the Horizen side chain, EON, which is an EVM. We're migrating the values of people's accounts or unspent transactions into ERC20 tokens. So at the end of the migration process, your ZEN value will be in an ERC20 token that's on Base. Now, Base is a layer 2 chain on Ethereum. Base is the fastest growing ecosystem. It's created by Coinbase. Coinbase, obviously, one of the top exchanges in the space. So we're really happy to be working with them. In order to do the migration, the blockchains will take snapshots of the blockchain status, and then we will create the ERC20 token smart contract on Base, and it'll have two things. First is it'll have the ZEN on EON value already built into it, and it'll have a claiming aspect of it, so that if you have ZEN on main chain, you'll be able to go to a website, connect to the website with your MetaMask wallet. It'll give you a message to sign, and you'll use your Sphere or Ledger wallet to sign that message. For any of you that have done voting on Horizen EON, where you can take your Horizen EON address and attach it to your Sphere addresses, this is a very similar process that we're doing. Okay, so now getting from where we're at right now to having ERC20 tokens is a process, and it's an important process. As far as we can tell, this is the first time that anybody is doing something like this. So our developer team has to create scripts and methods and capabilities from scratch, basically, to do this. And the Horizen Labs team is really good at doing this type of stuff. So the blockchains, the tools, the smart contracts, and very focused on doing it the right way. So what have we been doing for the past few months? Well, the team has been working to create the smart contracts, and we've been talking with a major exchange partner about how they would use these smart contracts and the scripts and the GUI website to do this. And in that discussion, we found that there was additional methods that we wanted to add to the process. So we paused the security review, added those processes, that's done, and then re-engaged the security review again. So we're confident that at least one of our major exchange partners is completely on board and working with us on this process. At the same time, we're preparing all this information for the other 35 exchanges that ZEN is listed on. I've been reaching out to these exchanges. We have communication with most of them, certainly all the major ones, to give them the heads up and tell them that we're going to be doing this migration. And they all ask for additional information to be able to do the evaluation properly. Exchanges look out for their customers. So, for example, working with Binance, one of their requirements is, hey, we got to see that the DAO voted to do this. Then they ask them to see if there's been any changes to tokenomics, and if there's tokenomics changes that the community has voted. They want to make sure that the community has been notified of this with sufficient time. So they're doing a lot of things to look out for their users, and I think that's really admirable. And then furthermore, every exchange wants to see the smart contract, and they want to test it, and they want to see the third-party review of the smart contract. And that's very important, because we can tell them that the smart contract is going to do something, but they have to actually see that it does what we're telling them. So totally understandable and part of the process. As part of this, we want to make sure that we have the documentation, the tutorials, the examples for the users that we have for doing the migration. We're making sure we're putting together tutorial videos on how to do this. Okay, so there's a lot of work being put into doing this migration properly. Okay, so that's the ZEN to ERC20, which is an important step, a really important step. Another step in parallel with that is that we're working to bring up a test net so that we can start having developers develop applications on the test net. Okay, so what kind of applications are we going to look to do, and how are we going to fund this, and how are we going to get it done? So we're looking to have a purpose to exist, and the purpose to exist is that we are going to have an app chain as a L3 EVM on base that has applications that have regulatory compliant privacy on them. Now, it's very easy to say that, but we have to actually get the applications deployed that do that. So what's our process for doing that? Well, there's two things. So the first most important thing is you have to have an idea on why you exist and what it is that you're working to accomplish, and we're doing that. The next is that you've got to engage with developers to create these applications. Now, when we're engaging with developers, I classify them into different types of developers. So the ones that are most straightforward to engage with are developers that are already creating ZK applications, and we want to talk to them about bringing those applications or a version of that application onto Horizen, which is great. Next is independent developers. So we're working with a lot of student blockchain clubs and independent developers, and we reach these people through hackathons. And hackathons give us ideas on how the tools can be used and what kind of applications can be built. And most importantly, they give us the opportunity to work with developer teams to see, if they're good to work with, if they deliver good code, if they can, make something that works. So existing ZK teams, independent developers. There's a few other groups, so other protocols. So other protocols like Arbitrum or Base, they have developers developing applications for them. So we reach those other protocols and talk to them about engaging their developers to have applications on Horizen. Like, it would be super cool to have a version of a DEX that had privacy built into it in some way on Horizen. So that's a more complicated type application. So we need to work with established development teams that have the ability to deliver applications. Okay, so hackathons, incubator programs, and grant programs. So grant programs is a big one, because one of the big benefits of moving the Horizen ZEN over to an ERC20 token is that we're able to have an equivalent of modern tokenomics. So like I said, we've learned a lot of things over the years in this industry, and one of them is certainly that if you want applications to be running on your protocol, you need to pay people to develop those applications. The next is those applications need to at some point become self-sustaining, so they pay for themselves, so they pay for the upkeep and operation and things like that. And the best way to do that is through a grants program. Now, to do a grants program, you got to have money. So the community did the vote on the tokenomics, and so part of the tokenomics change when we change to an ERC20 token is that there's about 5 million ZEN that have not yet been mined. Those are going to be minted and provided to the Horizen DAO and the Horizen Foundation. Now, why do I separate those two? Well, and I'll talk about, it's not all just going to be dumped and spent right away. So first off, if I get the numbers right, on the day of the migration, the Horizen DAO is going to get 750,000 ZEN immediately, and the Horizen Foundation is going to get 500,000 ZEN immediately. Overall, the DAO is going to get 3 million ZEN. So what they don't get immediately is going to be set up in a smart contract to be paid out monthly over the next 4 years. And the foundation is going to get 2 million ZEN. And what's not paid immediately is going to get paid out monthly over 4 years. This is all the ZEN the foundation and DAO are going to have. So from the foundation, this pays foundation salaries, it pays for infrastructure, it pays for all the operations of keeping the foundation going. So there's two ways that we can make sure that we keep this going for a long time. One is to get ZEN to go up in price by having more people want ZEN. And so that's one thing we can accomplish. Another is to do treasury management. So that means that we do things that will bring us additional ZEN. So for example, the foundation could put some of the foundation money into applications like liquidity pools that pay some percentage a year or other types of things like that. The DAO is more focused on developing applications and engaging people to use those applications. And again, the DAO has to do this in a way that will be able to keep DAO funds coming in for a long time. I don't want to get too complicated on that, but basically, we want to have a grants program that launches soon after the migration so we can have application developers start developing applications on our testnet that we can launch as soon as we go to mainnet. That way we get things moving. So the three main tracks that we're going is, one is the migration to the ERC20 token. The second is the path to a Horizen mainnet, which is a layer 3 app chain on Base. And then you say, okay, well, what's so special about the app chain? Why do we even need it? Well, there's two reasons. So one reason is that we want to have applications that people can use. But the second thing, that's our secret sauce. We've been doing ZK, zero knowledge stuff, for a while. So the Horizen app chain is going to be integrated with the other project, ZK Verify. So ZK Verify, and I'll take a short detour here to talk about this, enables new types of zero knowledge proofs. So these new types of zero knowledge proofs are ones that can be created on a mobile device or a web browser or very efficiently on servers, but they need a place to be verified. And there's no efficient place for those new type of zero knowledge proofs to be verified. So I'll give you an example. One of them that ZK Verify has as a verifier is Plonky2. Plonky2 is a really good proof for creating zero knowledge proofs on mobile devices. You get a zero knowledge proof on a mobile device in less than a second. So by being able to have zero knowledge proofs created fast, for free basically, because it's being created on user devices, and then verified quickly and inexpensively, that means that a whole new class of projects are able to find project market fit because instead of being slow and expensive, they're fast and inexpensive, and they enable the capabilities that zero knowledge have. One is to do computations, but while not sharing part of the information. And the other is proving that a computation happened. I've talked about this more a lot. So we also have to bring new people into the zero knowledge space. So having the tools to let them do that. And that's where the other two types of verifiers come in. So there's zero knowledge virtual machines like RISC-0 and Succinct. These are being used by people coming into the ZK space because you can take Rust code and prove that it executed correctly. So for example, if you have a proprietary AI model and you want to rent it to people for use, you can run the inference and demonstrate using a zero knowledge proof that your proprietary model was actually used, but you don't have to share the fundamental aspects of that model. That's just one example. There's many other ones. And then another way of bringing new developers into zero knowledge is with domain-specific languages. A really good example of that is Noir, developed by Aztec. And so you create zero knowledge proof circuits using Noir, which creates a proof in their two different types of zero knowledge proof circuits. One of them is called UltraPlonk and the other is called UltraHonk. So we have verifiers for that. So we have ways of getting applications developed on Horizen that use new types of zero knowledge proofs that are different and unique from other people in the space. Can other people do it? Yeah. Do they know about it? Do they have the capability? Do they have the experience? Not like we do. On the ZK Verify side, we've been doing developer engagement for the last year with hackathons and incubator programs and that kind of stuff. Now with Horizen, because we're engaging with developers now, we're going out and meeting these developers. So last week I was at ZK Summit, where all the most advanced zero knowledge cryptography and application and infrastructure people meet. And we're also going to have a hackathon. So during Berlin Blockchain Week, Horizen's a sponsor and going to have prizes for creating applications on the Horizen DevNet, which is linked with ZK Verify. And that goes from June 20th to 22nd. So that'll be our first hackathon as Horizen. And like I said, we want to have a grants program. The organization that we're talking to about proposing a grants program is really the best in the space. And this is the same organization that does the grants program for Arbitrum and for other major Web3 projects. And what makes them good is they have a bunch of developers that they work with that are really good developer teams. So that's one of the hard parts, is getting good developer teams to your protocol. The other is they have a process for making sure, for vetting the proposals and then making sure the proposals are actually delivered with the end result of being usable applications. The organization that we're talking to about that, which we're going to have a proposal from soon, and we'll share this with the community and give folks a chance to answer questions. Obviously, for an expensive program like a developer program, it's going to have to go to a vote. So that organization is Thrive. So if y'all want to look at what Thrive has done with grant programs and engaging developers, I encourage you to do that. Okay, so ERC20 token, blockchain, applications. I realize you all probably want to hear more about what we're doing regarding application development. I talked about it briefly, where we're going to have a grants program, which is going to pay larger amounts of funds. And then we have a hackathon and incubation program. The reason that a hackathon and incubation program goes together is that a lot of times in a hackathon, you get independent developers that have an idea, but may not have the experience or the funding or the capability to have the full, I call it the tripod of success. For a small business to be successful, you need to have at least three things. And those three things are, you need to have someone who knows how to do technical stuff, someone who knows how to do sales or business development or marketing, and someone who knows how to do financial stuff. Now, a lot of times you can combine two of those aspects into a single person. It's very uncommon to have all three aspects in a single person. So usually you end up having a team of 2 to 4 people that is able to take an application, bring it to market, and keep it going. It's very easy to launch something. It's a lot harder to keep things going, because that means you need to be profitable, you need to have maintenance schedule, you need to be able to deal with customers. There's a lot of things like that. So that's why hackathons are often paired with an incubation program. So what specifically are we doing with that? Well, I said earlier, for the grant program, we're intending to bring a proposal to the community to work with Thrive, which is really the leader in the space. Hackathons, we have 2 developer relations people. So they've been working mostly on ZK Verify, because ZK Verify is where all the development actions have been happening. But now that we're going to have a Horizen DevNet linked with ZK Verify, all of a sudden we need developer relations and engaging developers with Horizen. So the first thing we're doing with that is with ZK Hack Berlin. That's June 20th. So that's ZK application specialists. So Horizen's a sponsor there, and we're going to have developer relations team there working with developers to come up with new and cool applications for Horizen. Next is we're going to do a hacker house in Vietnam, and this will be in early August. So hacker houses are great because with new technology stacks, it gives you time to explain them to people, and then you can sit down and work and sit right next to them and help them through any issues or concerns. It's a much faster and better way to get people to develop applications using your technology stack, because you're right there to help them. And it feeds off other ideas and things like that. We're going to do another hacker house right before ETH India, and that's near the end of September. So ETH India, pretty exciting. We have a lot of good developers that we work with at the Indian Institute of Technology and the other Technology Institute blockchain clubs. So that's very exciting. Vietnam has really good developers. So we want to make sure that we have a presence all over the place. Of course, near the end of the year, we're planning on being at DevCon, which is in Buenos Aires. Not sure if we're going to be part of that official hackathon or not, but we're definitely going to be working with developers there. Then there's also these different regional programs that we work with that are a combination of a boot camp, mini hackathon, and incubator. I'm going to wait for some of the results of those to talk about that. But there are many different ways that we're working with application developers to get good applications on Horizen. To me, building infrastructure is great so that you can enable applications. It's really the applications that make a difference. And I know that's one of the things that we haven't been able to really do well in the past at Horizen, and that's why we're getting out ahead of this and making a difference this time. So one question we get a lot is, what do people that are holding ZEN have to be able to do to qualify for the ZK Verify airdrop? Now, as you heard me go through the explanation of what we're doing to do the migration, you probably understand that it's complicated to get the status of every account on the ZEN main chain and on the EON blockchain. So this means we're going to wait until after the migration to start the qualification period for holding ZEN either in a wallet or on an exchange to qualify for the ZK Verify airdrop. And what I don't have an answer yet is if you have to hold it, so if it's going to be one time or multiple times, because once we're an ERC20 token, it's very straightforward to figure out who's holding ZEN at any particular time. So we could count it as multiple times. Does it have to be done before ZK Verify TGE? No, it could be after ZK Verify TGE also. So what I can tell you is if you're holding ZEN on an exchange or in a wallet, after the migration, which is going to be near the end of July, that's what's going to qualify you for the ZK Verify airdrop. And I do know that we want to get this out to people soon after ZK Verify goes to mainnet, has TGE, and is listed on exchanges. And that's going to be near the end of Q3. So looking really at the months primarily of August and September that you want to be holding ZEN to be able to qualify for the ZK Verify airdrop. So before I talk about the migration timeline, I also want to talk about how we've seen a bunch of scammers popping up in the Telegram and the Discord and in other ways, and how to protect yourself against those. So first of all, when a project goes through a transition or a migration like Horizen, there is the opportunity for scammers to come in and steal people's crypto, not just their ZEN, but all their crypto. And the way they do it is they tell you, first of all, they try to scare you, and then they try to get you to be eager to get something. So any type of scam usually involves either scaring you or telling you you have to do something by a certain time or you're going to lose all your crypto. Or telling you if you do something, you're going to be able to get a lot more crypto. So these are the typical first steps in a scam. The next is they're going to ask you to either connect to them with a video support session. And the reason they do that is they're going to ask to take control of your computer. And as soon as they do that, they'll put a virus on it. They'll basically run a command line. It'll download a virus, and then they can see everything that you do on your computer. So what you'll typically see is somebody will say, well, go to this website for help, or DM you and say, yeah, you know, this is really complicated. Let me help you out. So don't do that. Don't do that. None of us on the team are going to be reaching out to you this way. So that's the first thing. The other thing is they're going to try to get you to download an application on your own. Okay, so here's the first thing to do to protect against that. Everything that we do from a Horizen organization all flows from our horizen.io website, horizenlikethis.io. You go there. If you need to download a wallet, you go to the horizen.io website, click the links there that take you to the wallet download. That's the only place you download wallets from. If you need an update to your Ledger wallet, you do it through Ledger. You don't do it through clicking on an email or a link in Telegram or anything like that. To find our official Telegram, again, go to horizen.io, click on the Telegram link there, and that's the official Telegram. Okay, we have a English language Telegram, we have a Chinese language Telegram. Those are the two Telegrams. There aren't any others. Discord, go to the Horizen.io website, click on the Discord link, that's our Discord. If you need help, open a ticket in our Discord, and then we're able to help you. So, you know, this is the process. I've seen that there's scam Telegram sites. There are, you know, people impersonating me, people impersonating other folks. Please, we don't want you to lose your crypto through any of these scams. Go through the official way. Okay, so what's our timeline for doing this? Well, we're providing all the information for the exchanges to be able to do the evaluation of their support for it. And we've got a new page on our webpage that is the exchange status. So we've identified every exchange that lists ZEN or listed ZEN in the past and have a status. We've reached out to all of them that we're able to reach out to. Some of them just can't figure out how to reach out to them. We're sending emails to their support. Most of the major ones, in fact, all of the major ones, we have Telegram groups with, or other types of groups like Slack or things like that we're talking with. But it's some of the smaller ones still trying to reach out to. And then the next status, besides that we reached out to them, is that they've acknowledged that there's an upgrade that they have to do something with. And that's important because that means that they know there's going to be an upgrade, that they're going to have to take some action. And what usually happens next is they get their appropriate technical people into the chat, and then we have discussions. And when I say we're providing the exchanges, what is this? Okay, this is smart contracts deployed on base testnet so they can try them out. It means scripts, the website, GUIs, and then the third-party security audits of all these. Okay, so what happens next? Well, what happens next is the Horizen Labs team is going to test that we take the snapshots, we create the Genesis smart contract and deploy it to the base testnet, and then make sure that that went well. So we're going to do that 2 times. We're going to do that once in the beginning of June, and then once in the middle of June. We leave enough time in there to fix any potential issues that come up. Our technical team is really good. They're really thorough. And so I expect things to proceed. Now, this is software. So, sometimes things come up, but we've, at this point, everything is going through the third-party audit for security, and they're ready to be deployed. We also have really good documentation for the exchanges. Okay, so that takes us to the end of June, and it basically gives the exchanges about 4 weeks to evaluate everything that they would need to do during the transition. And, it gives them a chance to work that into their systems. I don't know how each exchange manages their wallets internally. A lot of times, some of them I know have custom ways that are higher security. So we're giving them the tools, and then our team is talking with any of the ones that want to talk to make sure that we can do this. So by the end of June, we're expecting that many of the exchanges will have published their support for the migration. So this is really important. Are all of them going to publish it? I don't know. We'll see. But we're making this exchange support list public so that if the exchange that you have ZEN on is going to support the migration or not. And then you can choose what to do. You can open a ticket with the exchange and say, hey, are you going to support the migration? But you got to give them a chance to, evaluate this stuff. So I wouldn't be opening tickets up until like the middle of June if it were my exchange, because earlier than that, you're just bugging them for no purpose. And if an exchange just totally says they're not going to support it, then you can withdraw your ZEN and you can put it on an exchange that does support it, or you can hold it in your own Sphere wallets. There's a lot of different things that you can do to make sure that you're going to maintain your ZEN on this migration. And I know people have individual questions. That's why I do these videos, to try to help through all this type of thing. But if for whatever your situation is, if you're on an old wallet, and you want to know how to move to a new supported wallet or any other thing like that, come to our Discord, open a ticket. That's our process. So when are we going to actually do the migration? Well, we have planned that we're going to do this in later on in July. So there's upgrades that have to happen to our main chain ZEN and to EON. And so the exchanges have to have a chance, and the node operators and everybody else who operates a ZEN main chain node needs to do this. So that's the exchanges, that's the mining pool operators, and it's the supernode operators. Snapshot and the migration are going to happen together. So we're planning on doing this sometime during the week of July 20th. Okay, so you really want to have your ZEN in a place that's supported by the migration by about July 20th. So at that point, we'll do the snapshot, and then we'll roll out the ERC20 smart contract on base. Now, what happens during a migration? Well, you guys have seen this migrations before. Exchanges stop withdrawals and they stop deposits during a migration, and they re-enable deposits and withdrawals after the migration is complete and they know that it's been done successfully. So that's going to happen, and it's not a surprise. After the snapshots are done, then there won't be a reason for the main chain or the side chain to continue operating. Can they keep operating? Maybe. It's an open source protocol, but all the value from the two chains is going to be migrated to the ERC20 token. So that's the timing. Now, many of you are asking, well, what about ZK Verify? There's a blog post that says that people that are holding Horizen are going to get ZK Verify token, calling it an airdrop. You got to claim it, so it's mostly an airdrop, but we're talking to exchanges about how that support is going to work also. Now, for ZEN holders to be able to get ZK Verify token has to exist. It doesn't exist yet. ZK Verify has not gone through a token generation event and is not on mainnet. Now, do Do you think we're going to do the token generation event and bring ZK Verify to mainnet and do an exchange launch at the same time that we're doing the ZEN migration? No, that wouldn't be a good idea. It's going to be after. Okay, so look to have the ZK Verify mainnet launch, token generation event, and airdrop for ZEN holders to be in Q3. So ZEN migration, then in Q3, probably later on in Q3, is where we're going to do ZK Verify mainnet token generation event and exchange listings. So this is a really exciting time. By the end of Q3, we'll have, well, by the end of July, we should have everything migrated for Horizen over to ERC20 tokens. We'll have funds. We're going to be doing hackathons. We're going to be doing incubators. We're going to be doing hacker houses. We're doing grants programs. So we'll be engaging good developer teams to develop applications to be operating on Horizen within our idea of having regulatory compliant privacy type applications. And then we'll bring up the layer 3 app chain on Base. And as we roll out these applications on Base, we're going to have this whole ecosystem. And that's what I'm excited about. So Coinbase, with Base, what they're doing is really exciting. They're making it very easy, straightforward, and fast and low cost for people to move their tokens and liquidity around the entire Base ecosystem. So if people see that there's applications that they want to use on the Horizen app chain, it'll be really easy if they're in the Base ecosystem for them to just come over and use it. And this is going to give opportunity for ZEN holders to make money, because in a lot of these decentralized finance or other types of applications, there need to be liquidity pools. And when you put funds into a liquidity pool, you're able to additional ZEN on doing that. I mean, like right now, I'm using Aerodrome, which is a great DEX on Base. And I've got Ethereum and Aero token, and I set that up in a liquidity pool, and I'm getting payments in both Aerodrome and Ethereum token. So there's a lot that you can do in the DeFi space to be able to earn additional ZEN by helping the protocols work properly. Okay, so that covers the timeline. So there's been a lot of information here. I'm really excited. Been with this project since 2016, when I first started mining Z Classic with my GPU miners, and switched to ASIC mining for mining ZEN over the years. Worked with Horizen Labs last year, and now I'm working directly with the foundation to engage developer growth and doing a bunch of other things as well, just to help make sure that we're all successful. So this is a really exciting time for me. Everything's going well. We've got great developer team. We've got great relationships with exchanges. We've got a great community that sticks by and supports what we're doing. So as we go through this process together, make sure that you see what the officially published information is from our website. Make sure you stay safe. Link to the things from our website. Ask questions, but don't accept or do DMs with people that are not part of the team. And if you're in our official Telegram group and you're wondering if a person is part of the official team or not, go look at the group. They'll have admin or owner next to it. So anyway, hopefully I've answered everybody's questions that I've seen so far, and looking forward to giving you all another update on this as we progress, and we will be successful together. Thank you.